that you turn to, someone you can rely on, closer each day, home and away.
Welcome to Home and Away, a Tottenham Hotspur podcast hosted by myself, Graham Spice, and Glenn Cowie, where we discuss all things Tottenham Hotspur with both a match attending and international supporters view. Glenn, are you good?
I'm good, Graham. I'm good, mate. As I was mentioning off air, we had yet another public holiday here in Australia yesterday, our Friday, which was nice. So it's been nice. I don't know what I'm going to do to myself next week when it's a full Monday to Friday week. It's going to feel very foreign, but yeah, I'm good. And how are you, mate?
Good. Just completing my second week of vacation. So I've had 2 weeks. I had a week either side of Easter. I've done some home stuff. Went to the football on Monday. Obviously went to the Forest game, which we'll cover in a bit.
Yeah.
And I've only got 4 days next week, and then I've got Friday off, and then it's Bank Holiday Monday, so I've got a 4-day weekend, and then 4 more days of work, and then I go on holiday for a week to Dubai. So yeah, this period of the year has actually worked out quite nicely for me. It's kind of minimal work, maximum holidays.
Oh, beautiful, mate. Beautiful. Are you going to, when you're in Dubai, is there an opportunity for finding the Dubai Spurs? I assume there is a Dubai Spurs.
I've already been and watched a match with them before, so I will reach out again, see if I can get something local. I'll take my audio equipment with me.
Awesome. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, mate. So I'm keen to get your view. You were at the Forest game, so I'm keen to, and it's more like I just love living vicariously through you at match when you go to a game. In that I've not been for so long, but how was the atmosphere? Who did you go with? So obviously we can get into the performance, but I guess did you at least somewhat enjoy it as far as I could do during your holiday?
I decided to drive because it was a bank holiday Monday and the trains are notoriously shit on bank holidays, worse even than the Sunday service. I'll come on to that, foreshadowing there for later in the...
Yeah.
So I drove to Theobald's Grove and got the train like 4 stops down to White Hart Lane. And that all went very smoothly. So I turned up, I met my friend, went with Alex Khalil, who's a friend of mine from work. Brazilian guy. Right? Yeah, we had conversations about Corinthians and I forgot his name now. He's the Dutch guy they signed. Who's the guy who used to wear a headband? So we're talking about that and amongst other things. But yeah, so he's been to a few games with me. So we went for a kebab in the Star on High Street. Memphis Depay. There we go. Memphis Depay. Yeah. He's a really disruptive influence. He got the last manager sacked. He's an asshole.
Yeah.
So yeah, everything was great. We had a really nice meal. Went to the match. Within 10 minutes, we were 1 down, and they'd had a goal disallowed, which was questionable. And then a third chance, second goal. So just really poor defending, and we can't keep giving teams a head start. We just can't. It's all very well, we played really well for large parts of the game. Like we put a lot of pressure on. We create a lot of chances, and all the statistics say that we played okay, but it was too late. And I actually think the reason that we looked as good as we did is that Forest, once they got 2-0 up, they just didn't do anything. They just sat back and soaked up all the pressure. They did a really good job of it as well.
Yeah, we played to their strengths, didn't we? I mean, what was it? Accurate passes from us, 465, from them, 165. That tells you everything you need to know. And our XG, which read into you, our listeners and everybody, XG is a fairly new phenomenon, but 2.14.
I still, to be honest, I don't know what it is. Still, it's some kind of coefficient number. And you could see because Forest started taking off all their attacking players. They took off Elanga, Woods. So they weren't bothered. They got 2-0 up. We scored, but everyone keeps telling me, but we had the chances that we could have done. It was cleared off this and that. But
there was one cleared off the line, but my thing about that is, to your point, had that gone in,
they could have turned it. They could have got out of second gear and gone and come at us again if they really needed to. We can't keep playing like this and conceding goals like this. It doesn't make sense, because if we cut that out, we would win more games than we drew or lost. Because we're scoring goals. We're still scoring goals, but we are still too porous at the back. And I don't know. No excuses. Full squad.
Well,
I know we've rotated people, but we have all of the players available that we would play in that back four, right? So there's no excuses. If you're rotating them, you're rotating them for other matches. But that means that you should be able to put out a team that can defend. And at the moment, even with our strongest back four, we're making the same mistakes. So it's definitely the way that we play that seems to play into teams like, I've said it before, Forest are like the anti-Ange team, right?
Yeah.
We are the perfect suckers for them to play because the way that we play is perfect for the way that they want to play. And like I said, even at the game up at City Ground was only 1-0, but it could have been a lot more. We
I mean,
quite lucky in the end.
100%. Now, you mentioned it on our back four. What did you make of it and the people around you when at half time he changed to two centre-backs? Because I thought it was clearly something I looked at and I'm like, well, that's obviously been pre-discussed. Well, the reason they're doing that is to, obviously, to a degree, get minutes in their legs, but then rest them at the same time. But then, like you pointed out, even with them in the team, we arguably look worse.
Yeah. and
make of what you will, you know.
It was and also it was 6 days between matches. So Monday then Sunday.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, I think he'll make a raft of changes on Sunday as well, but we can cover that in a minute. So I don't know. We've all written this season off in the league. I'd like to get out of the season with some semblance of, some lack of embarrassment, because at the moment it's embarrassing. It is embarrassing that a team that's had so much invested into it, who qualified for Europe last year, is now 3 shit teams away from being relegated. Not happy with that, really.
And we'll get into that in a moment. Just going back to the game, I actually thought Odobert and Tell did pretty well. I could see, what they were trying to do. I think the issue they had was Richarlison. He's not an instinctive number 9.
No, there were times. Ronan Johnson's got more instincts in the box than he does.
Yeah.
At least he'll turn up at the back stick. I think I turned to Alex in the stadium and I said there was a couple of times they got really good crosses in, and it was desperate for a Brennan Johnson 2-foot tap in, but they just no one was making those runs and no one was attacking the ball, which is weird because I think you'd think in the end Richarlison did that, right? But he not enough.
Yeah,
I don't know. I guess I think it's probably the right decision to play him for a game because I just think
for me, I think Richarlison, and this is going way back to yesteryear with that 10-game run when we won every game or won 9 and drew 1. He was playing on the left, he was running the channels, and he was actually really important. He's useful in that context, but he's just going back to it. He's exactly what Tell is he's not a striker.
Yeah.
So, really.
And I think the problem is that Solanke has been played a lot.
Yeah.
And he works hard for the entire match. So I think he's in the red zone, as they say.
Well,
I think it made sense to rest him.
Absolutely. And in the transfer window, unless you're looking at someone like Dane Scarber, who, I don't know if he's injured, but he's just not getting any minutes at the moment at all. But you do wonder, in the transfer window, will we actually look at bringing in an out-and-out striker again? For some, not competitions per se with Solanke, but that backup and that, or even playing them together. I don't know, because there doesn't seem to be many options when you look at what we have.
The problem is, I don't think we can predict at all what our business will be in the summer until we know who the manager's going to be and which competitions we'll be playing in next season.
Very
because
true.
if we're only in the Premier League and the domestic cups, actually we won't sign Tell. He'll go back. I don't think we'll have him. And then I don't know. We probably need to get rid of quite a few players and also depends on who the manager is, what style of football they're going to play, how they're going to set up will make a big difference as well. But even if Ange stays, I still think that there's significant surgery still required on the squad.
I think there is too. And looking ahead, right, in terms of we've got the Liverpool game coming up, and we're going to do a preview on the semi-final, which we're quite excited to do because it's looking very likely we're going to have a Norwegian guest on when we do that preview. So we won't get into that too much now. But it's weird, isn't it? Because the Liverpool game, they only need a point to win the league. That stops Arsenal doing it. We've got the biggest game, not just of the season coming up, but probably in the last 7 years, right? Or however long ago the 2019 Champions League final was. It's huge.
Can we forfeit Sunday? Can we just?
Well,
forfeit?
this is it. It's weird, isn't it? Because I just can't.
I don't even want to. I don't want to watch it. I don't even want to be involved in it in any way.
Yeah,
because I honestly think that we will get absolute gubbing. But I just really want to draw a line under this season already. Unfortunately, the remaining 5 matches say otherwise.
It's like I listen to quite a few other podcasts and other kind of outlets and their views on Spurs, and it's almost like a lot of them, they are stating the obvious. It's like it's embarrassing, it's outrageous, it's a disgrace, and all of that is true. But yet, we've basically got 2, hopefully a third, massive game to not only qualify for Champions League, but to win a trophy. And not just a domestic trophy, a huge trophy, a European trophy. And it's just, the season just feels weird.
Yeah.
I mean, it's beyond strange. So, Liverpool away for me, like you said, I don't know, can you see something completely mental like we're here play Kingski? And, I mean, the predicted lineup, I don't even know if I've got it on FOTMob. I don't think it's showing up just yet. But some would say, oh, well, mate, would he play Porro? I don't think he will. I think he'll play Porro in the semi-final. I think he'll play Spence. Will he play the 2 centre-backs? I don't know that he will. I think he'll play something like maybe Davis and Danso. Midfield, Bergvall won't play for me, neither will Bentancur. So that leaves you with Sarr and Basuma. We're not going to win the game. It's going to be ugly, I think, to your point. The only one I can see getting minutes, which I would agree with, would be Kulusevski because he's coming back from injury. I don't think he plays Solanke or he made feature. But I don't know, mate.
Who's in the under-15 squad? Let's give him a run out.
But then,
honestly,
for
the women's team, I don't know, anything. Missing in action.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just feels like it would have been a good opportunity to rotate some of those players into some games. Look, none of these league games mean anything, so why aren't we blooding more of the youngsters? They don't mean anything.
And the thing is, if suddenly on Sunday, early hours Monday morning for me, he picks a load of kids, I just want transparency on that you're doing that, and the reason you're doing that is because the biggest game is Thursday, and we all know that.
Yeah, what you don't want to be is one of the few thousand people going up to Anfield to support the team, and I'd rather know in advance that you're going up there to watch the B team get their asses kicked, because it's going to be a painful experience. No one's going up there to celebrate Liverpool winning the league, are we?
No.
It just this whole season is leaving a really nasty taste in my mouth. I'm very disappointed. I'm not blaming anyone. I just think that it's gone horrifically wrong. And I think there's plenty of blame to go around. I don't think any one person or any one group of people is to blame. I don't think it's the ownership. I don't think it's the manager. I don't think it's the players. I think it's a combination of everybody involved.
And on that, we've got news broke recently in the last few days, last week, that Scott Munn is going to be leaving. I mean, I read into that. That's got everything to do with the new CEO coming in, surely, right?
Maybe he's going to fill all the roles with people that he wants.
Yeah, you would think so. Yeah.
And I would definitely think that Langers will be next on the chopping block. I can't see how he stays either.
Agreed. But then I read an article, or there was something on social media about that Ange basically apparently is going whatever happens. But then in said article, there was a paragraph in there, which this is basically, you may have well pulled this and recycled it. It says, while the club is set to carry out a wide-ranging summer overhaul of its football operation. How many times have we heard something like that?
It's annual.
It's
an annual.
But for me, it's just fluff. It's just corporate speak. It's like, for me, come out and say, okay, what does that actually mean? What's the goal? What's the output? How many years? Like, what's the timeline? All things that a good business would do. Tell us what the plan is. Make me understand, because I don't get it.
I personally think if Ange stays, he should clear out all of his coaches. All of them. Not a single one of them, I think, is adequate. And I think he needs to rethink his strategy. If he stays, if there's one thing he learns from this, is that maybe you can rotate your coaches and you can bring new people in and keep refreshing it when you're at a club like Celtic or where he's been previously. But
Melbourne
but
Victory.
at the Premier League level, you need like the best of the best. This isn't a YTS scheme for people who want to learn their trade. This should be the people who are at the peak of their ability. And I think that that's been an issue. I think the coaching, I can't imagine the other team, even teams who've spent nothing, who have got championship players, look better defending than we do, which is mad. It's mad. And that's just coaching, right? It's someone getting more than the sum of the players out of the team. And no, we haven't done that this season at all. No, we've just looked ill-prepared for most of the games we played in.
Well, like, my thing with it, in terms of when you look at the Frankfurt game and the reaction of the players, the reaction of the coaching staff, the reaction of Ange when we scored and then when we won the game, that indicated to me, and I think many others, that the players are probably behind him. And it's a big if, and we get into the semi-final in another episode, but to jump ahead, on the morning of May 22nd, if we've won the Europa League and we qualified for Champions League and the players are behind him, does he warrant to stay? Has he got enough credit in the bank to stay? I think he does. It's a very long time ago, but people have short memories in terms of, yes, it was a very long time ago, but Keith Birkinshaw took us down. I mean, and then you look at the guy, he's a legend, and what he gave the club. So. And I'm not suggesting for one moment that Ange is in the same mould.
Two FA Cups and a UEFA Cup.
Correct. And that was off the back of going down. For me, and I've had this debate with mates here, because they're very much like, win it or lose it, he has to go. And I disagree. I think if he wins it, he's got absolute credit in the bank, and he earns the right, for me, to get another crack next season, a third season, and we find out. And if by October it's utter shit, and that's when you make the change for me. That there's time to right the wrong with a new change. But that's just my view. I don't know what your take on it is in terms of if he was to win it and the players are behind him. Do you feel that he's got credit to stay?
I think the last 5 games tell us what we need to know. Ignoring Europe, if you can't at least, I mean, they're really tough games, right? We haven't got that many easy games. None of the teams that we've got left are going to roll over for us. Well, we've got Liverpool, then West Ham, Palace, Brighton, and who else? One more? I forget the last one.
Villa.
Oh, fuck, Villa, yeah. So these are teams that are challenging for Champions League places. Or in West Ham's case, we're in the 17th place derby with them. and Brighton, again, they're a team that the way they play means they're going to give us a hard time. Tactically, he needs to show that he can play against this variety of teams at different levels. I need to see something that says that this season, it was all because of the injuries, and now that we've got everything. But the problem is if he keeps resting everybody for the league games, for the European matches, we won't see any consistency in those last few games. And I think that he does himself out of a job in those 5 games.
But do you think, and this is what I'll come back to, do you think Frankfurt are a better team than Brighton and Nottingham Forest? In that we saw in that Frankfurt game, he clearly has the ability to instruct players to tweak it, go long, run to the corner, and play pragmatic football.
And I'd like, even if he didn't do that for every match, but he did it selectively for matches where it suited the teams that we were playing, I'd see that as tactical flexibility, which is kind of what you expect from a top coach, right? Is the setting a team up to win a specific match, not just setting the team up every the same way every time, so that you become utterly predictable and that teams can pick you apart at ease. And that's where we've been for a lot of the season. I've become quite circumspect about it all. I've no ill feeling towards him. Some of the stuff that he's been subject to has been...
Well, I was about to say that,
horrible.
For our listeners, and I'm not suggesting anyone as our listeners are, but people out there, commenting on someone where they're from or his weight or that he doesn't make eye contact. Jesus Christ, like have a pop about the tactics and setting up a team, but a couple of nights, like
exactly.
Yeah.
I agree, and I think he's made a lot of mistakes. I do,
Yeah.
and I don't think they're all on the pitch or in the training ground. I think,
Sure.
as I said, he needs to grow it. I still don't understand how he's so thin-skinned and how he's let everyone get a rise out of him this season. It's been horrible to watch. And also, I go back to the coaching. I think the way that his coaching team is made up is not working, and I don't think it will work in the Premier League.
And I think that's all very fair points. And I think without saying it, and maybe you're thinking, oh, I'm going to say it, like the best possible outcome for everybody would be winning the Europa League, qualifying for Champions League, and he resigns.
Yeah,
like, that would be the best outcome. Like
I'd be the first one there to shake his hand.
Yeah,
I really would.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
And wave him off at the Qantas gate at Terminal 3.
And maybe I'll see him as I'm on video for you, but I won't be for our listeners. He's from about 5 or 6K that way. Maybe I'll see him around. Maybe I'll see him around the place or down at the beach.
Buy him a beer.
Yeah, I'll buy him a beer. Exactly. He seems like the type of guy that would probably have a beer with me and have a chat. And also, not only that, he would have delivered on a win something in the second season, mate.
I almost hope that happens.
Correct.
Just because I really want him to do the press conference after the final.
Bring the trophy.
He sat there with polishing it. What?
Yeah.
He's doing it.
Hold on.
I fucking told you so.
Yeah. But also, it would give him the ability, which is absolutely mad to say this statement, but he could turn around and say, "Well, I've left this club in a better position than I found it." Like, and
actually, he wouldn't be wrong.
Correct.
Squad wise, that we've completely refreshed the squad in 2 years.
Yeah.
Still needs depth, but it is significantly younger.
There's great bones there, right?
Yeah.
To work with something. So maybe that's what happens. And then looking ahead, let's live in a world where he either resigns or is sacked. Parker and McKenna are the latest ones to be linked. As I said it off air, I've heard, and I'm going to call them what they are, I've heard stupid reports that Pochettino is the favourite. I just can't see it. I don't see it. Like, he's got a good job. He's got a home World Cup to look forward to. I just don't see it. And I think the buyout to get in is astronomical from the US Football Federation. I think it's mad.
And if he criticises Trump, he might get.
So maybe, as I say, maybe
maybe there's more than one way to skin a cat.
I don't know what Pochettino's political views are. Maybe he aligns with Trump. We just don't know.
I would not be surprised.
Yeah, I've got a good mate here. I saw him yesterday, actually, after we went and did a workout on the beach. He's from Chile, from Santiago. I said, why did you move to Melbourne? Like, why did you move to Australia? And he's like, to get away from the right-wing nutcases. There's a lot of that in South America. So, yeah. So, I now think Pochettino comes back. Parker and McKenna. McKenna's got links with Tottenham, as does Parker, of course. And Parker, again, depending on what next season looks like as far as what competitions we're in. But Parker, didn't he concede? Wasn't it like they conceded like 15 goals in the Championship?
Yes.
Burnley.
Yeah. So it would be a complete change again. But also, I think I said it off air, neither of them have won anything at the top level, like Postecoglou has at Celtic, for instance.
Yeah.
So they've won and got promotion from the second league, but never at the top level. So this is a big step up. And as both of them have proven historically, in Ipswich this season started off making a bit of a fist of it, but then have just drifted away. And Scott Parker's got 3 different teams promoted, and none of them have stayed up with him at the helm. But that way, Bournemouth stayed up. Bournemouth got promoted with him, didn't they? And then it had fallen out over transfer business, and they got rid of him.
And then it goes a bit overlooked. And then he went to Club Brugge in Belgium, and he was kind of out of the English game. Then came back, and he wasn't employed. And then he obviously got the Burnley job. And funnily enough, he was Tottenham under-18 coach for July 17 to July 18, and so was Kieran McKenna, right? He was connected to Spurs youth.
Yeah,
he was Tottenham under-18 before Parker. So there's connections there from both. I tell you what, if we do need a new manager and it is McKenna, can you bring Liam Delap with him? I'd take him. Bloody hell. But
He's
like you
hot property this summer, though, isn't he?
correct. But in your notes, you've put it like Parker and McKenna, are they good enough? If we go out of Europe, either in the semis or the final, if we don't win Europa and we're basically playing only domestic football and we finish the season 16th or 17th, do we even have the right to ask if they're good enough? I mean, for me, the bar is pretty low.
Put it. Then I think a year, one of those two would be acceptable for me. Because if it doesn't work out after a year, then Pochettino might be available.
Yeah. Well, Pochettino is 100% available in basically July of 2026. Like he will be, because I don't see him doing that gig for long term. I think it was a role for him at the right time. So yeah, then you've got the opportunity maybe. But then again, it's change again, isn't it? And it's like, bloody hell.
Maybe we shouldn't be afraid of that. Chelsea have pulled it off. So for a decade, haven't they? The manager's never been the key component. The key component has been building a league and a European winning squad, with having the infrastructure around the squad, the coaching, everything, and the procession of young players breaking through. And then, you just have a coach who comes in and manages the team. And
to a lesser extent, because they haven't won a bunch of stuff, but Brighton are another example of that.
Yeah.
In terms of managerial changes.
Even Bournemouth, to a degree, have done that as well, right? They've gone through a lot of managers, but ultimately they've still had a really good...
They've stuck to their principles.
Yeah.
They've stuck to both clubs have stuck to their principles.
I think that's the key thing, right? What we can't do is flip-flop between Ange ball and Conte ball, because it's polar opposites, and everything that the players have learned for the last 2 years would be to just stick it in a bucket, wouldn't you, and start again. And the players that we've got probably aren't suited for that style of football. So it's I don't know, tough one.
It's going to be.
There's got to be other coaches out there that are more suited to playing an attacking style of play, but with some rigidity and less leaky at the back.
And look, it's going to be a really interesting summer or winter for me as the new CEO comes in. He's clearly with Mun's going. You would expect Langer to follow. If Ange goes, like you said, there are coaches out there. Surely, maybe it's a surprise. Maybe someone comes in that. I mean, the guy that's unemployed who took Dortmund to the Champions League final.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know much about him other than that he took Dortmund to the Champions League final. But you would expect. But then I just don't trust. I don't trust Tottenham's hierarchy, to be honest, in current state. Maybe that's part of the problem. That's why it's changing. But I don't trust them to make the right appointment. I don't trust them to get it right.
I'm just thinking about all of the managers that we've had in recent history. So just go back to Pochettino. Pochettino comes in with all of his coaching team, right? The whole 4 or 5 of them, including his son, as I think he was like sports science or sports nutrition or something like that.
Tony, what's the goalkeeper coach guy?
Jimenez, something.
Yeah, Jimenez, yeah.
So, and Jesus Perez as well.
Yeah.
So he has these trusted lieutenants who he brings in that all have a role, and he trusts them to take his ideas and implement them on the pitch. And it worked. It absolutely worked. Everywhere he's been, even at Chelsea, I think Chelsea gave up on him way too quickly.
Oh, 100%. I agree. That was
an absolute. It was a basket case when he took over there, and he got to a stage where, even with a squad of about 600 players, he managed to find a way to get a few of them to play football. And then Conte's the same. Conte's got like hand coaches that he works with all the time, including the fitness coach, the guy who died, and with that Italian guy who did the set pieces. So he has this, and he gets the best of the best to work with him. And Jose does it as well. He's got the same people that work with him everywhere he goes. I can't see how it can work any other way.
I'll go further, and then I'll go further back even more in those examples. Harry Redknapp, Kevin Bond.
Yes.
Trusted lieutenant.
And what's his name? Jaws.
On Redknapp's team.
Yes, Scottish guy.
Oh, Joe Jordan.
Jordan, yeah.
Who got into it with Gattuso.
That was the best.
Yeah.
Because he used to play for them as well.
Yeah. And I'll go even
and they're the one who gave him the nickname Jordan.
Yeah. I'll go even further back than that, mate. Brian Clough and Peter Taylor.
Yeah.
I mean, people, you talk about Brian Clough, no one really mentions Peter Taylor. They're like, who was that? And it was like, well, he was so integral to all what Clough achieved.
Yeah.
So
100%.
you're right. There has to be some continuity with who you have around you. And that's just true of anything.
The continuity can't be Ryan Mason.
Oh, mate.
It can't be.
I wish that guy...
Did you see that, is it Chris, who's the guy who left?
Oh, I know who you mean, but yeah, his name's escaping me, yeah.
Yeah, he's just got Birmingham promoted.
Yeah. Going back
to Ryan Mason. He was a big miss by the sound of it.
Right. Going back to Ryan Mason, the comment there, I wish that guy all the best. Like, I've listened to some really good podcasts of him around his, and it goes a bit overlooked. Like, he almost died, in terms of his head injury. It's amazing that he's still able to work and has all of his faculties and all the rest of it. He's clearly got a really good football brain, no pun intended there, on what happened to him. But he needs to go and do something else. Like, go and do like a League One or a championship, lower championship club. Go and spread your wings, mate, because you're just always sticking around and it's just a really bad look. Like every
he needs to go out and get a job of his own, doesn't he?
Correct.
Oh, it was Chris Davis. Sorry.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Yeah.
They've already won. They've already won the league.
Yeah.
So
for our listeners, they're huge examples of where it's worked with managers all the way back to Brian Clough. You need someone or people around you that make it work, right? And I think everyone we've listed there would admit they're nobody without them in terms of even it goes forgotten. Mourinho, he was Bobby Robson's assistant,
He's originally his interpreter.
Yeah. And then got the gig. And talking about learning from one of the very best. So, Terry Venables, he had Don Howe.
Have I told you my Don Howe story?
No, go.
So, just prior to Euro 96.
Yep.
And Venables and Don Howe are visiting White Hart Lane to watch a few players. It's Tottenham Man City game. So I parked in one of the parking lots really close to the stadium. It's where the Sainsbury's is now.
Yeah.
There used to be a car park there, and it was like 20 quid or something. I was late one day. I'm going to park there. So park the car. Just about to get out the car, and someone backs into me.
Well, actually hits the car?
Yeah, in the car park. So I get out. It's fucking Don Howe. He reversed into my car. There was no damage, so we kind of
Yeah.
But he's ex-Arsenal, so I wasn't completely happy with the whole. But it was
funny.
It was funny.
Yeah. Well, I've got last one I'll say is Glenn Hoddle and John Gorman. You never saw them two.
No, exactly.
Load. Funnily enough, I met John Gorman. He lives in Crowthorne. I don't know if you knew that.
I knew, because Hoddle lives in Finchampstead, right? So they're both fairly local to where.
I was up on Crowthorne High Street years ago, and I was living in the Sage still, and I'm back for a visit, and I was getting my niece with my sister. We were picking up ballerina shoes or something, and there's a shop there. Does it anyway? I popped in for a coffee with my sister, and I looked. I was like, I know that voice. I know that face. Who is it? Oh, it's John Gorman. I had a nice chat with him. Nice guy. But yeah, well, we've got on a lovely tangent on what makes.
You know why? Because we're trying to avoid talking about the Liverpool game because nobody wants to listen about. Well, thoughts on Liverpool. Let's make it. I tell you what. I'll give you a prediction. 4-1 Liverpool.
Yeah, probably right. I was thinking 5-0 or something. You know what's going to happen though? He'll probably go out and put a really good performance in, and we'll have a load of tactical nails, and we'll go nick a point, and Liverpool win the league anyway off that point, and everyone will be like, "Oh, look, we can do it."
Yeah,
I don't think we will either. I think they'll be bang up for it. The stadium's going to be rocking. Poor buggers that have paid money for a ticket and for travel up there. I feel for you. It's just one of those. Just get it out of the way. And we've got Thursday to look forward to, which we will be doing another episode for previewing the semi-final. And as I mentioned earlier, we will have a Norwegian presence, which should be fun. We can learn a bit more about Bodo. But I didn't have anything else other than to say, as always, come on, you Spurs.
Yep. Thanks to everyone who's listened in. Please like and subscribe to the podcast to tickle the algorithm and so we can get in front of more Tottenham supporters. And to close us out, come on, you Spurs.
You can contact us on email at tottenhamhomeandaway@gmail.com or on Twitter X @TottenhamH&A.
Let me be the one that you turn to, someone you can rely on, closer each day.